next work session is the Economic Development Update. Mr. Cogbill.
Afternoon, Mr. Cogbill.
Good afternoon, sir. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm pleased to be here today with you as the chairman of the Chesterfield Economic Development Authority to first thank you for the opportunity to serve and to thank you for all the great things that you have done to help us in our mission. The cooperation has been superb. We've loved the dialogue. We're happy to be able to support you when we can, and it's just been a wonderful cooperative opportunity for all of us. And your staff, starting with the administrator going down, has just been wonderful. I also want to thank you for the work that you did on Upper Magnolia Green, because that was a very carefully orchestrated and deliberate legislative process. And the thought and the time that you put into that produced a wonderful result. You looked out for the citizens in your districts, you looked out for the people of the county, you looked out for the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I'm pleased to tell you that as a result of that, we had an opportunity to participate in competition for the most significant economic development property in the United States. Can we go, there you can see the slide. Well, we were a finalist in this exercise. We went all the way through. We were down to the point where they were actually out on the site looking at the property. And we were within just maybe one other entity of winning that prize. And the only reason we were able to do that is because of the work that you did as a board. But I want to thank you again for the work that you did and the deliberative process that you went through in order to make that happen. I want to now switch and talk to you about the biggest project in the southern United States for last year. And I would tell you that this is probably the most significant year for Chesterfield's Economic Development Authority. If you look at the list, you will see all the deals that were going on in the South, and you see the number one on that list was the Lego Group, which came to Chesterfield County. And you all had a chance to participate, as did I, in that wonderful project. And I will tell you, it's ahead of schedule at this point. So we were very pleased with not only the fact that you cooperated and helped us to do that, but at the same time, you provided the leadership to actually land that prize and to move forward to the point now where we're going to actually probably have employees of Lego in the Commonwealth and in Chesterfield in this coming year. So thank you. I also want to take this opportunity to tell you or introduce to you people you already know, but who the people in the audience might not recognize as the members of the Chesterfield Economic Development Authority. What I'm going to do is read their names and ask them to stand. We have three members who are not here with us today, and I'll just acknowledge them at the end. The first is the Vice Chair, Terry Kofer Byrne, and you can see that her business relationship in the community and that she is the Vice Chair. Steve Mikas, who is our Secretary. He's been a board member since 2019. John Hughes, who is our Assistant Secretary and our longest-serving board member since 1997. And one of our newest members, Faizan Habib, who is a treasurer and has been on board since 2020. And he's down at the Virginia Department of Transportation, and you've probably dealt with him already in your work on Upper Magnolia and some of the other projects. Jesse Callaway, Danielle Fitzhugh, and John O'Neill, our board counsel, were not able to be with us today. John is our outside counsel at Hunt & Williams, but we also want to thank Mike Chernow for all the support he gives us internally. Would you all stand up, please, just so the board can see you? I don't know whether you can see through the dark, but thanks to you for helping me. I'd also like at this point, because I just wanted this opportunity to get up and say a few things, but I'm going to leave the heavy lifting to Garrett. I want to say a few things about Garrett and the things that he's done to sort of make us what we are today. He came here in 2015, and since that time, he's got a number of wonderful projects under his belt. He's been in the economic development business for 40 years, and he's brought to us Amazon, Cap One, Sabra, and before he came here in his previous life, he brought Colonial Downs down to New Kent. I also want to point out that he's been a leader in the sports tourism industry here in Chesterfield, and that's been a wonderful, very quiet, but a wonderful opportunity for us to show off Chesterfield, to show off Virginia, and also make a lot of money. He understands how to work with people. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't argue with people, but he gets things done. And I also want to thank the staff, because as you know, they've done wonderful things to help all the businesses in Chesterfield. I mean, they reach out, whether it's through a problem with a business getting a building permit, whether it's a problem understanding the tax situation in the county. They get one-on-one, they'll reach out, and through the educational programs that are put on by the Economic Development Group, we are able to educate the businesses and create a much better business environment than I believe exists any other place in the Commonwealth. And with that, I'll turn this over to Garrett. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, John. We're going to switch over here. The powerless Virginia business has done a great job of limiting my tenure here to 2015. I actually came in 2005. I became the director in 2015, but I've been here for more than the last 7 years. You have before you the report, the annual report for 22. We are going to make this an annual event where we report to you. I am going to go through in detail some of the items that we have in that report, and I have to say to you guys that it's all good news. So we'll move forward. We are winning the we are leading the talent attraction business in Chesterfield. You see 364,000 people. It's more like over 370 at this point. 14 people a day, 60% of the growth of the MSA will be here. We are leading even in the state in new citizens choosing, because of the quality of life, to come to Chesterfield. And that is an important thing for us, for our growth. As the population grows, the workforce grows, the labor force is continuing to grow. The unemployment rate is significantly lower. It's lower than that now. It's probably down below 2.6. That is the struggle is to find labor with an unemployment rate that way. But the number of jobs is rebounded from COVID. We're back to above where we were when we left for COVID. It is not the all-time high number of jobs, but we're only a few thousand away. The average weekly wage continues to rise. Each week that is reported by the VEC. It's always good news. The number of businesses in Chesterfield County is an all-time high. That's the most number of businesses we have. We use the number registered with the VEC versus the number of business license, which is just a different way of if you've got an employee, you have to file with the VEC, so we know you're there and you're doing something. So that's but it's the highest number in the history of the county. As part of this in the population growth, the things that I want to show you is that is important about this data here. We did a study. We got SIR to do a study on what was Chesterfield's secret sauce on quality of life, bringing people here, and how we can make it better and do things. And in that study, it became clear that 71% of the people that would choose to come to Chesterfield or choose to move in here are choosing to live where they want to live before they select their job. Okay, so that means that we have an ample workforce of people moving here that is growing, that can take the jobs that we create, which will then further attract the businesses to follow those workers. The first move group, which is a consultant group that we reported last week that there are 10,700,000 unfilled jobs in this country. There are 5,700,000 unemployed persons in this country. So if we used all the unemployment, there's still a 5 million person gap for jobs. That gap is going to affect how businesses move around this country. They are going to go to where the labor is. So we want to be an area where we have the lifestyles and the choices of homes where people come to live, so the businesses will chase that labor. We really learned how to get efficient on connecting and contacting and working with our small businesses over COVID. It went to real high gear at that point, and we're using those lessons we learned to keep that volume going. And in that volume, we did, over 3,500 touches with businesses and training and programs and connections with financing and marketing and business license writing and so forth. And that's the largest number ever, and we've been getting even bigger. We had 44 events last year. We'll have more than that this year. You guys get the events as we send them out. They're becoming very popular. We're cooperating with all of our other agencies like the Chamber and BizWorks and so forth to make that a place where we're all maximizing the connection to the small business community. And through our development assistance and permitting assistance, we monitored and touched and assisted nearly 1,000 commercial permits in 2022, which is great. There is, not reported in some of the other numbers, but just reported separately, is 5.1 million square feet of speculative light industrial buildings, either going through the permitting process or under construction at this time. The vacancy rate is as low as I've ever seen it, and the rents are as high as I've ever seen them. So all good news. We're averaging about one job per 1,000 square feet on these type of buildings. So that's another 5,000 jobs that will be created in Chesterfield over the next 24 months or so as these buildings come online and we announce whoever the tenant is. Sports tourism. Sports tourism is booming. It's booming in the region. You saw in the Sunday paper where Jack talked about how tourism was going. 48 events last year, 180,000 visitors, 32.2 million added to the local economy. I want you to remember that number because we're going to come back to it when I go to the next slide. But that's the impact on spend that the people spend either in their room nights or their food or their purchases for retail and so forth while they're here. That's that number. Our goal is to make that as big as it could possibly be. Our hotel occupancy is the highest in the region. The room rents are going up. And back to that 32 million impact, because of our local hoteliers, the Spring Hill Suites grand opening with Cena, and because hopefully this evening you guys will vote to do the rezoning cleanup on Stonebridge so we can break ground this year on the Shaman Convention Center and Hotel in Stonebridge. With those two coming online, and both Cena and Shaman have 2 more hotels in the planning process to go into Chesterfield. So the more rooms we have, the more dollars we're going to collect with each visitor as they come. And also, finally, the lake is under construction. It's going to be moving forward. That's going to be an additional opportunity for people to enjoy the events, spend money, pay for retail, eat food, and do wonderful things while they're here that leave their dollars in Chesterfield before they go home. We're going to talk about our direct investment at this point. We had 10 projects that we announced and worked with this year in 2022. They do not include in this total Plenty or Civica, as those were announced after July the 1st. So that's $400 million worth of stuff that goes in the next year's report already that I get to say to you guys. So it was $1.1 billion in capital investment, 2,600 jobs, and 2.6 million square feet of square footage in projects like Lego, St. Francis Hospital expansion, Starplast in Meadowville, Hidden Wit Brewery, iFit, better known as Norditrack to most of the world, and then Southeast Connections, which is a gas pipeline construction company. It's got an office in the county. Those are examples. In your report, we did a spotlight project description of Lego. And why do we do Lego? Because we could. Okay, we're the only locality that can, and we need to do it every chance we can. So I'm going to deep dive into Lego for a second. $1 billion in capital investment in phase one. 1,761 jobs, to be exact, in direct jobs created. 1,700,000 square feet manufacturing building. We have already broken ground. The site will be finished, the clearing will be finished this week or into next week, and major dirt work, removal and moving will start the following week. The project, as Mr. Cogbill said, is ahead of schedule. I wanted to spotlight their commitment to the environment. 100%, they will produce more than 100% of the power that they consume in the plant. So it's going to be 100% carbon neutral. They are applying solar panels to all the tops of the parking lot and to all of the areas that the plant is not covering. Because they are removing trees to do that, they have agreed to replace every tree bigger than an 8-inch diameter tree. Anything bigger than that, they will be replaced in other places in Chesterfield County. That counts about 6,000 trees will be replaced from that program. They have chosen to do mass timber framing because it's more environmentally friendly. This will be the largest mass timber framed building in the country. And then they are going after LEED's goal, which is a very hard achievement for manufacturing, but they will get it in both their building and their operations. They are also about to get their building permit on the temporary space they have in the interchange at Walthall. That will allow for what they call kitting, where they put the pieces and parts together that are produced probably in Mexico, will be placed in kits. So with that, you will be able to buy next Christmas products from Lego that were created or at least packaged and put together in Chesterfield. That represents 300 jobs for that facility. Okay, why did they select Chesterfield, Meadowville Technology Park? Because of the commitment that you made and the board made before you to have a shovel-ready site. I've already talked about our growing workforce, the ability to get 1,700 people to work for them was a big point, and the ability of our community college and the workforce services program and our technical schools. They saw Chesterfield as a place where they could get the employees that they needed and could train them quickly and easily. And then, obviously, the infrastructure was in place. We just didn't buy a field and call that an industrial park. I think the commitment of these board, you and other boards, adequate water and sewer and power and gas are all in the park, and it was ready to go so we could meet their deadline. You guys have seen these numbers before. They're the numbers we use when we negotiate incentives, and the only thing we talk about when we talk about income from a company. They're the direct payments to the county in taxes, and we do the estimates on those, and that's how we figure, and make our decisions about where the company can go or whether we even want them in Chesterfield. But I thought this was a really good opportunity to talk about the total impact of a project like this or any project that creates jobs in the county. Like I said, we don't use this for math to calculate anything, but I think it's important to realize the impact. So I asked GRP to use the regional model of employment and to talk to us about the jobs in addition to the direct jobs that would be created and the salary that would be created from those jobs. When you look at the indirect jobs are jobs created by Lego buying things in the county. So they're going to need people to be employed to keep up with that demand. The induced jobs are the jobs that are going to be created by the people who work at Lego and work in the indirect jobs, throwing more money into the community because they've got a salary to spend. It's the new salary in the system. So those two together almost double the number of employees that'll come from this project, and are $100 million more in payroll that we'll realize in Chesterfield through the program. Please.
Mr. Garrett, one question.
Yes, sir.
I think one of the things that's missing from that I don't see is how many jobs are being created when the building's being built.
Thank you. You prevented me from skipping over that. It's as many as 3,000 employees will be on the site.
I mean, all of the dirt work, all of the
Yes, sir.
delivering of stone and steel and wood and everything, that right now is going on right now.
Yeah, it's already started. Yes, sir. There's probably 45 people on site right now doing dirt work, and it will grow to almost 3,000 before it's completed. Thank you, Mr. Carroll. I wanted to mention the projects that the Board of Supervisors and the EDA are working to get completed. You've heard about Upper Magnolia Green a couple times in other presentations here today. Clearly, the rezoning that you guys took hold of, the purchase, the strategy, the time that you spent to get the rezoning has resulted in probably the premier large format industrial site in Virginia. It is absolutely the #1 site in Virginia. It continues to be and will be. And we are working hard to, as it's been said before today, we are working hard to fund the infrastructure and the roads to make that a reality in every way that we possibly can. The Tomahawk Sewer is almost 41% accepted by utilities. There's it already is there. You build it from the low end up, so nobody can connect yet, but the utilities have got it, and they're going to take care of it from now. But that allows for the opening of more, up to 400 acres for commercial development in the county and for other mixed-use developments to occur. The former Spring Rock Green project and the Southside Speedway project are both projects where we are working to get that quality of life, mixed use, entertainment, restaurant opportunities expanded to attract the workforce and to attract tourists and to attract visitors, and also for our citizens who live here to enjoy. And all of those projects are moving forward. I want to introduce you to the #1 economic development team in the nation. All of my team cannot be here today for various reasons. We're always somewhere doing God's work somewhere other than here. But we got COVID. We had a COVID casualty earlier this week. The ones that were here, if you will stand when I call your name. Samantha Furnish, Sharonda Napier, Jake Elder, Tina Shreve, Letitia Jenkins, Katie Albert, Matt McLaren, and Woody Carr. And they are the hardest working, most dedicated and excited group of people that have ever done economic development, and I'm very, very proud of them. I would ask them to remain standing, and if you'll indulge me for just a minute or two, I would ask the EDA to stand again as well. Joe, I'd like you to stand. Jeff, I need you to stand. Please, if we could get all three of you guys to stand. The sheriff's back there already standing. If I could get the fire chief to stand. Anybody from police that's here. Government liaison, please. Anybody from community development, budget. Deputy county administrators, please stand. Sheriff's Department, if you work for any agency or department of this county, would you please stand? And then I would like for you guys to stand too, please.
Where are we going with this, Garrett?
I would like to introduce you to the best economic development team on the face of the earth, and it is all of us. It is everybody in Chesterfield is economic development. It is our success. We couldn't do it without everybody.
Very true.
Right, Jerry. I got one last slide here we need to show. I have, by using this report and using this presentation to you guys, I have done what is called a soft launch. I have soft launched our new brand and our new logo, Chesterfield Fits. You will see it as we move out into the market. You will see us change from our existing logos into the new one. So, thank you. If there's any questions, happy to answer them.
Mr. Chair.
Board member, Mr. Carroll.
This presentation is not embedded in our packet, so can I make sure I get the presentation? And I guess we're going to post this somewhere for the community to be able to look at it as well?
Yes, sir. And we've got lots of these reports. We're going to make them available. They'll be at every table at the chamber luncheon next week and so forth.
Well, there's going to be some people here later who I'd like to make sure I have copies of that too.
Yes.
So.
I understand. Yes, sir. Happy to do that.
Any other comments? Mr. Holland?
Yeah, I just want to take this opportunity to thank you, Garrett, for your work. I know how important it is and has been for the county to create job opportunities. We look at over 2,000 jobs here, over $1 billion in investment. And of course, you have 2,647 jobs. And we see the significant impact of economic development, which this board and prior boards have recognized. Because when you invest through the economic development venue, then citizens have less of a burden in terms of supporting these critical services that we heard about, such as fire. Our chief brought earlier today new fire stations and new firefighters and the staffing thereof, which points toward a really safe community. And so everyone benefits when economic development does a tremendous job, and you've done a great job as evidenced in the annual report, which I appreciate your sharing with us today, and that will be ongoing. And also the significant work that you're doing with the small business area. And Tina, I applaud you. I know she works with that, and Letitia, Ms. Jenkins as well, work with that. I applaud your efforts in that regard, because as with tourism, sports tourism, which is a huge driver in the county, economic development accompanies it as well in terms of hotels, sleeping in the bed nights, and also the restaurants benefit. The citizens benefit by having these amenities, and then having first class companies such as Lego, ESG. You know, many times people don't think about that, but that's significant that they embrace that and they're willing to invest in that as well. So I just want to applaud you for that effort and for the benefit for the entire county as to what you have done and continue to do. So we applaud you all again for being here today and for sharing with us this great news. We're creating jobs, they're not leaving, but they're being created right here in Chesterfield County. So we're less of an exporter in this particular context. So I applaud you and thank you as well.
And we will continue to create jobs, and it is my honor and pleasure to work for you guys and sell one of the best things there ever has been sold, and that's Chesterfield County. Thank you.
Thank you, Garrett. Wonderful. There should be confetti after that, after that performance. But yeah, presentation, I'm going to tell you.